Hi, I'm Kelly Williams, nutritionist at the Worcester County Health Department. Welcome to What's Cooking in Worcester. Today we are making a healthy and delicious holiday appetizer. We are making some mini meatballs with an apricot dipping sauce. The great thing about this recipe is, first of all, it's super fast and easy. Second of all, you can keep it in your slow cooker or crock pot to stay warm, so it's really easy to entertain with. And finally, because it is packed full of protein and really low in carbohydrate, it's going to be a great option if you're trying to watch your blood sugar. Okay, let's get started. So in a bowl, I have 1 pound of lean ground beef. And when I mention lean, we're talking 90 to 93% lean. So there's very little fat in this. If you wanted to use ground turkey or ground chicken, you could certainly do so. Those you would also just want to look for the lean options. So we have 1 pound of ground beef here. Next, we are going to add some seasoned dry breadcrumbs. If you needed those to be gluten-free, feel free to buy gluten-free. If you don't find the seasoned in your store, just go ahead and add about a teaspoon of Italian seasoning or other seasoning of your choice. Okay? We're gonna add 1 egg. All right, and about 2 tablespoons of water. That just helps everything come together. And if you have a favorite meatball recipe that you make in your family, feel free to make that instead. This is a really basic meatball that we're starting out with. Okay, we're gonna add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper, and this is kind of to taste. Again, if you have any other favorite seasonings that your family enjoys in meatballs, feel free to add those. And now we're gonna get our hands a little messy. The secret to a great meatball or a meatloaf is that you don't want to overwork the meat. So you're gonna fold it together just until everything's incorporated, and you want to kind of use your fingers to poke at it like this. And this is going to keep your meatball from getting too tough. And again, just keep going until you have all those breadcrumbs mixed in. If you like panko breadcrumbs, those work in here too. Some people use crushed crackers instead of breadcrumbs, and that's also fine. Again, it's just to keep it binding together so it holds its shape. Okay, so this is about what you're going for, and you see that took just a moment of time. It's really quick. You don't want to keep it going too long, as long as you're sort of seeing all the ingredients mixed and no individual ingredients left, you're ready to go. Now, you can just use your hands on this part. If you have a little cookie scooper, if you're trying to serve this to guests and you want everything really uniform, a little cookie scooper, which looks like a mini ice cream scoop, works really well to make them all the same size. But for the mini meatballs, for like a cocktail meatball, it's about a 1 to 1.5 inch meatball. I am putting them on a parchment paper lined cookie sheet. If you have a rack on yours, like a broiler rack, that would be fine too. But this is really lean beef, so it's not going to drip that much. The parchment paper will probably be just fine. So we're just gonna go ahead and proceed until we've used up all of our meat. So we have our oven preheated to 400 degrees, and we're gonna put our tray of meatballs in for about 15 to 17 minutes, just until browned. Okay, let's take a look at our meatballs. Okay, they are nice and golden brown. That's what we're going for, nice golden brown color. Okay, and we're just gonna let those hang out there for just a couple minutes, and we're gonna get started on our apricot dipping sauce. Okay, so we're gonna get a pan going over low to medium heat. And you are gonna add your meatballs to the pan, so make sure you have a pan that is large enough that you can do this in. We're gonna start with 3/4 cup of apricot preserves, and I am using a natural variety that doesn't have a lot of excess sugar. Just pay attention to your label and look. Jams and jellies can be a hidden source of sugar, so we really want to pay attention to that. Look for the ones that are no sugar added, sweetened with their own fruit or juices if you can find that. If you're not really sure if you like apricots that much, this is great. You know, you won't really taste apricots necessarily, but you could always use another fruit jam. If you like, you know, black raspberry, or you like orange, cherry, feel free to experiment. This is just giving a fruity sweetness to the dish. Okay, so we're going to get that going in here. And so our meatballs are cooked. All we're doing with this sauce is melting everything together. So this goes really pretty fast. Next, we're going to add barbecue sauce. This is a 0 sugar barbecue sauce. Again, making this a really blood sugar friendly appetizer. And we're gonna use the same ratio. So about 3/4 cup. And there are a few different brands for all of these products. Just really look at those labels when you're in the grocery store. Okay. And to give it a little depth of flavor, we're using a Dijon mustard and about 2 tablespoons of that. Okay. And that is our 3-ingredient sauce that we are just going to give a nice stir until everything's incorporated. Now, I had mentioned that this is a great entertaining recipe because it keeps in a slow cooker or crock pot. So what you would want to do if you were going to use it in a slow cooker is you could put this in a much smaller pan, of course, just get it all combined, and then put your sauce, your glaze, along with your meatballs in the slow cooker on low, or preferably keep warm temperature if your slow cooker has that setting. And they'll be good for a couple of hours, maybe 2 or 3 hours, so definitely enough to get you through your event. And this is a jam, so it's not going to be perfectly smooth. There will be some little apricot pieces in here, but you're looking for it to be mostly incorporated. And I just see a few little pieces left in here, so I'm going to keep stirring as I'm heating. And we don't want it to scorch, so we're just keeping on a nice low to medium temperature. And that looks pretty well incorporated. So I am now going to add my meatballs and just kind of pick them up with tongs and drop them in. And again, you could put this all in your slow cooker at this stage as well. Now we just want to give this another stir. And we're gonna give it a couple more minutes to all sort of meld together here, get those flavors incorporated on our meatballs. And just let them hang out together. Now, if you were looking for a way to make this ahead, you could certainly make these meatballs and freeze them, and then just put it all together when it's time to serve. That would be a great time saver if you were, you know, having family or friends over around the holidays and you wanted to make those meatballs in advance. They are fine to freeze either in their pre-cooked state or after cooking. And so this is what our little mini cocktail meatballs look like. And for serving, it's great to have some toothpicks and just kind of pop them in there. It makes it really easy for guests. This is also a great dish for kids because they love picking things up, little kebabs with toothpicks also. So this is a fun little appetizer that they can help you with and that they may enjoy eating as well. So there are our sweet but not sugary glazed meatballs, healthy, high protein appetizer around the holiday. Let's taste it. It's really great, and I hope you love it as much as I do. Remember to eat healthy, be active, and prevent diabetes today.